Hi everyone, so I am Asmira Beruar of Imam. So for today, we will have the Rationale in major. In Edo 562, 563, 564, 565, and the last is in Edo 566. So first is in Edo 562. The question is, this is used to evaluate the specific measurable evidence that is acceptable in determining whether the content standard have been met. A. Contents standard, B. Learning competencies, C. Performance standard, and D. Learners standard. Okay, the answer here is yes, the performance standard. Because the content standard, it only describes the knowledge and skills that students should attain, often called what students should know and able to do. While the learning competencies is a general statement that describe the uses of desired knowledge, skills, behavior, and abilities. While in the performance standard, it used to evaluate what specific, measurable, that is acceptable in determining whether the content standard have been met. So the answer is the performance standard. Okay. And the number 6 question is, these are broad statements explaining what student should know, care about, and be able to do in each level of learning. A. Content standard, B. Learning competencies, C. Performance standards, and D. Learners standard. Okay, the best answer here is the content standard. Because the content standard say that it describes the knowledge and skills that students should retain, often called the what students should know and able to do. While the learning competency, it is just a general statement that describes the use of desired knowledge, skills, behavior, and abilities. While the performance standard, it used to evaluate what specific measurable evidence is acceptable in determining whether the content standard have been met. So, the content standard is the answer here because it is the broad statement that explaining what students should know. Okay, proceed to in ADO 563. In ADO 563, it is the rate of speed in a musical composition. The highlight word here is the rate of speed. A. Beat, B. Tempo, C. Staff, and D. Bar line. So the answer here is the tempo. Because the beat, it is just the basic unit of time, the pulse of the measure level. While the tempo, it is the speed at which a passage of music is or should be played. While the staff, it is a 5 parallel horizontal lines that with a clef indicate the pitch of musical notes. Then the bar line is just a single unit of time containing a specific number of beats played at a particular tempo. So the answer here is the tempo. It is the rate of speed. Next is, it has a definite pitch. Okay, it has a definite pitch. The answer here is tone. Why tone? Because it is a vocal or instrumental sound that denotes its pitch, relevant to where it is on the musical scale. While the rhythm, it is just a music pattern in time. The dynamic is the variation in the loudness of a musical composition or specific notes. While the noise, it is unpitched, indeterminate, uncontrolled, loud, unmusical, or unwanted sound. So the answer here is the tone. The tone has a definite pitch. The next is in ADO 564. The question is 89 people that have been invited to a banquet. The caterer is arranging tables. Each table can sit 12 people. So how many tables are needed? Okay, how many tables are needed? A, 8, B, 10, C, 20, and D, 25. The answer here is yes, 8. Because these numbers, we will just multiply it into the 12 people that who can sit in each table. So since the A is the most nearest into to the people that have been invited. The answer is letter A. Next is 24 folder each has 56 sheets of paper inside them. How many sheets of paper are there altogether? So, the answer here is A, because the 24 folder, we will just multiply it into the 56 sheets of paper with a total of 134 sheets of paper are there altogether. Okay, next is in ADO 565. When presenting a lesson, effective teachers A. will wander off the topic frequently to give humorous but largely irrelevant example. B. will talk slower at the points in the lesson that are particularly important. C. will use a wide variety of visual aids and graphics to drive home important points. And D. will give clear indication about the most important elements of the lesson by saying, for example, it is particularly important to note that. Okay, the answer here is letter D. Will give clear indication about the most important elements of the lesson by saying, for example, it is particularly important to note that. Next is, this usually follows the whole group instruction to reinforce or reteach specific skills and concept and typically range in size from 4 to 6 students. The answer here is C, the small group instruction. Okay, take note the highlight here. The whole group instruction, 4 to 6 students. Okay, why not A? Because one-to-one instruction, the students are learning and from interacting with the teacher individually with instruction tailored to the student's own personal pace and learning needs. While B, collaborative learning, students working in peers or small group to discuss concept or find solution to problems. And C, small group instruction. When you teach the student small group ranging from 4 to 6 students, it usually follow the whole group instruction. While the independent learning, it is just the ability to take charge of one's learning. The answer here is the small group instruction. Next is in ADO 566. What do you call the group of people who transfer from one place to another place to look for food? The answer here is the nomads. Why nomads? Because the nomads is a member of a people having no permanent home but moving from one place to place, usually in search of food or to graze livestock. Because explorer, a person who explores an unfamiliar area. Traders, a person who buys and sells goods currently in stock. And decolonizer, a person who help take control of an area or country that is not their own, especially using force and sends people from their own country to live there. So the answer here is the nomads. Next is, what is the main reason why the way of life of early Filipino is further advanced compared to other neighboring Asian countries? A. Primarily because of barter system which paved way for trading among the Chinese and other nations. B. Is it because of the discovery of metals such as iron, copper, and bronze? C. The people of Luzon regularly traded with the coastal communities of Bohol, Cebu, Samar, and Butuan. And D. The early Filipino knew the art of coinage which they use as an exchange for the product of other countries. The answer here is it because of the discovery of metals such as iron, copper, and bronze? Okay, since Philippines are rich in these metals. So that's all. Thank you and bye.